no one can be absolutely certain where cryptocurrency actually originated or come from. Because even though they've presented a author to us, Satoshi Nakamoto, this author is about as real as Santa Claus. And so, who really invented cryptocurrency? What was its devious purpose? And what are they trying to accomplish with it? And I'm going to get into this in depth right now, what I think that cryptocurrency was invented for, who I think invented cryptocurrency, and what was their devious purpose. First off, you have to realize that it was SHA-256 is an actual protocol that cryptocurrency actually runs on. Now, to understand how this works, you got to picture Bitcoin like a big train. A train has to travel down tracks. SHA-256 is the track that Bitcoin actually runs on. It's the protocol that Bitcoin runs on. If you want to take a look on the internet at SHA-256 and the SHA-2 protocol, it was invented by the National Security Agency, the NSA of the United States. Now, it's very likely that if SHA-256, which is the protocol Bitcoin runs on, was invented by the National Security Agency, it's very likely that the deep state was involved in the creation of and the intelligence community was involved in the creation of Bitcoin to begin with. And I believe that it's all linked into what they were actually trying to do at the time. This is laid out in the Economist magazine. I've went over this cover a number of times. You have a bird on the cover. This bird's not just any bird. He is a phoenix. And he's rising from the ashes of the dead currencies. And they put the year around his neck in a coin, in representation of a coin. This all indicates that they were pointing toward a year way back when they made this Economist magazine cover. And they were pointing toward a gold standard as well. And this whole ideology hasn't went away. I believe that the cryptocurrencies are a marked way for them to come about to what their objectives were at the time. But something, I believe, has went majorly wrong. I think that what they did to actually create the cryptocurrencies originally to begin with is they hired it out to a bunch of computer professionals. Probably not just one computer professional. Probably a whole group or maybe 10 or 12 or a number of computer professionals who probably worked on it for a long time to come up with this plan. And what their plan was is originally, I believe, to use it as a currency for the one world government. A one world currency that would be digital, that would run on the internet. They knew what they were looking for. They wanted a currency that would be controlled by them and their computers, so that they could track any purchase from any person on Earth, anywhere, at any time. And in fact, this is what cryptocurrency enables them to do. You see, when you're using cash or you're using gold to make a purchase with, they can't track that. That's not trackable by computer. But all cryptocurrency transactions are trackable. What makes them trackable is a personal identification number that points toward any particular direct person, and then they can keep a database of all those numbers. Now that is embedded in the code of the cryptocurrency. It's called your wallet address. That's your personal identification number. But you hear what I just said, personal identification number? Right now that number is not personal. I think that what their intention was they put the cryptocurrencies out there, the original one, Bitcoin, as a test bed, as a beta test. They were going to test it out and see how it would work in a real-time environment. Their wonderful invention that they had created that run on SHA-256, the protocol that they had created. And they put it out there as free software, almost like a Linux and whatnot. For free download, you could use this software, and you could download your wallet for free, and you'd become a bank. And it was a test case. They wanted to see how the thing would work. And I think that at a certain point they planned on killing it. This was their plan. Their plan was to kill Bitcoin at a certain point in all this. After they did their test and made sure it worked properly, they were going to kill it. And then what they were going to do is bring out their own cryptocurrency. And then they would be in control of the cryptocurrency. And then what they were going to do is they were going to say, hey, we know that you guys like Bitcoin, but Bitcoin was flawed because Bitcoin would be able to be used for drug trafficking. And then we were all supposed to agree and say, yes, it was used for drug trafficking. And then they would say, well, Bitcoin is also flawed because it's not backed by any central bank. And then we were all supposed to shake our heads in agreement, yes, it's flawed because it's not backed by a central bank. It can't be worth anything. And then they were going to say, well, it's also flawed because it can be used for money laundering. And we were supposed to all shake our heads yes and say, oh, yes, you're right. Thank you, Lord and Master. It was flawed because of not being able to be used. It was used for money laundering. And then they would say, well, we have an answer for that. And then we would all get down on our knees and say, oh, yes, Lord and Master, please give us your answer for all of this. What will we do? What will we do? And they say, well, we're going to bring out this new cryptocurrency, and it's not going to be flawed. It's going to be backed by the central bank and the full faith of the United States government, or whatever government that they were going to bring it out under. Backed by the full faith of the world government. And this new cryptocurrency that we're going to give you, the people, aren't you so thankful? And the people would all say, yes, yes, Lord and Master, we're so thankful. And they would say, okay, here's your new cryptocurrency. And by the way, we're going to assign each and every person a wallet address. Now, I'm going to explain to you. This is the important part. This is how they track your transactions and know who you are online. Because for all the talk about Bitcoin being able to be tracked, it's still very difficult to track people's purchases with Bitcoin. They have to link a wallet address to a particular person. It's very, very hard to do at this stage in the game. This is why they haven't been able to find those missing coins from Mt. Gox right now. There's a lot of missing coins. There's a lot of missing coins from other sources as well. What about all those coins and stuff that were they were able to track the wallet address of those coins that those guys stole with those viruses and stuff a while ago? But it's very hard to do, right? But you change Bitcoin over and you make it so that the wallet address is assigned to every citizen. They assign them that number at birth. That number stays with you the rest of your life, your wallet address number. And it's kept on a database within the controllers, the ones who created Bitcoin, the central banks. Then they have complete control over all the money on earth. They can quite literally turn your number off and you will starve to death. And this is what they wanted. This is what they're trying for. So they went on with this, and they were the Lord and Master, and they were going to come out to the people, and we were going to accept the currency that they would come across with when they were done with this beta test. And this new currency, that would be the world currency, that would be produced by the central bank, that would be a cryptocurrency, would be in total control by them, run on their computers, run off of their system. And in fact, they tried pushing this out here for us a number of times. But a problem arose, a huge problem. The people would not accept these cryptocurrencies that the bankers want to give them. They say, hey, we don't want that, it's pre-mined. And then they go back to their beloved Bitcoin. They go back to their beloved Litecoin and their beloved coins that were only supposed to be a beta test. I mean, Bitcoin wasn't even designed to run at more than 7 transactions a second. It's just a beta test. It wasn't supposed to be used worldwide as a currency for everyone, for the people. So now, the government's been taken aback. Or I should say the deep state. They've been taken aback. They don't know what to do. They're like, this was only supposed to be a beta test, but now it's time to kill it. It's time to be over and done with this beta test. It's time to roll out the new currency for the new world order. But the problem is the people would laugh at them and the people will not accept it because it's pre-mined. And also, the people out there now are not buying this whole thing about money laundering and all that. They've heard all that before. They don't want a pre-mined currency. It's worthless to them. And so now when the central bank's coming out there and pushing out, the deep state is coming out there and they're pushing out their man, Jamie Dimon, to try to get rid of this cryptocurrency. Now at this point, they're actually they're in a panic mode at this point. They're actually cutting their own throat because they intended to bring out and roll out their cryptocurrency. But by them coming out and spouting off now at this point and saying how stupid cryptocurrencies are and they'll never be this and never be that, they're actually destroying their own cryptocurrency that they had planned. But they've already scrapped that plan. Now they're in absolute desperation mode. They don't know what to do at this point. And so they're shoving Jamie Dimon out there and they're saying, oh, he's the most likely candidate to be a spokesperson for us, the deep state. Because he looks fairly good. He's not like a lot of these bankers. They look greasy. They look like the fat little piggies that they are, But Jamie Dimon, he looks fairly good, He can comb his hair back and straighten up his tie and everything, and he looks like a fairly good spokesperson for them, And he represents authority as well, So, and he's got a lot of clout. When he talks, people listen. They don't want to put out somebody out there that looks like Mr. Bean. They don't want to put somebody out there, looks like somebody that people are not going to listen to. They want to put out somebody out there that's going to represent an authoritative voice for the deep state. But at this point, they're in panic mode. They're willing to actually ditch the whole project just to get rid of this test. This beta test that is taken off, and they don't know what to do now to actually stop it. So, they've worked their hardest, they've worked their best in conjunction with the PBOC, the People's Bank of China, to try to get rid of it. Now, the People's Bank of China, they got a vested interest. Sure. They've got tons and tons and tons of gold that they want to see become the new world reserve currency, along with backing the yuan with gold. They don't want cryptocurrency horning in on any of that action. And what about Jamie Dimon? He's got vested interests himself. What is it, something like 128 million ounces of silver that he's got put away? He's wanting to see the price of gold and silver go up too, just like China. He's got a vested interest. So they don't want to see cryptocurrency take some of that action, take some of the heat off. They want to see the gold and silver go up. But it doesn't matter really what they want. In the end, cryptocurrency, what have they succeeded in doing? They've succeeded in smashing it down. Between the People's Bank of China and between Jamie Dimon, now at this point, they've smacked it down. And they've smacked it down pretty hard. But you notice the timing? They were waiting for it to peak in price to do their smackdown. They were going to play on people's fears, and it has worked. But it's only worked to a limited fashion, because what's going to happen is they've smacked it down, sure. They've made the investors scared. The investors have run out of the cryptocurrency, and they've dumped it, and they've got out, and they've taken a loss, and they're saying to themselves, a lot of people, now at this point who bought in around 4,700 or 4,500, and they bought in high now, and they see it go down. They've taken a big loss, and they've said to themselves, "Oh, I'll never touch that stuff again." And oh, Jamie Dimon was right. That stuff's a Ponzi scheme and all this kind of stuff. But this will happen for a while, and the Bitcoin price will fall. It'll keep falling and falling and falling until it doesn't fall anymore. Until it reaches a point where people that are the believers out there will say to themselves, "Hey, I ain't selling my cryptocurrency for these prices." And then what'll happen is Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies will start to climb again. Next time they start to climb, there's going to be more people that want them. There's going to be a wider base for them, a wider base of usage. Plus, the protocols are slowly working out a lot of these problems. They're implementing new solutions like the Lightning Network. So eventually this thing is going to come back. It's going to come back stronger than it ever was before. More people are going to know about it. More people are going to want to actually start to use these wallets and stuff. And start to use this stuff for actual money. It's constant growth. It's only ever seen constant growth since it first began. And this is because the underlying technology is an advancement over the previous technology. And this advancement is going to continue to grow underneath the surface. They're not going to be able to get rid of it. And every time it comes back, it's going to be stronger. So what they're actually creating, Jamie Dimon and the PBOC, what they're actually creating is a buying opportunity of a lifetime. And we don't know how low this bottom's going to be. I said I was going to start buying in at 3,800. So yeah, I bought some. Now it's down to like 3,200, whatever, 3,300, whatever. What is it this morning? Let me take a quick look at the price. Okay, it's 33.10 at this moment, right now. So, the question is this the bottom? Well, maybe not. It might go down into the 2000s, 28, 29, 27, 26. I don't know where it's going to put in a bottom. I don't know how long this fear is going to last in the investors that are dumping Bitcoin because they're scared of it now, because of what Jamie Dimon said, and how long his words are going to hold traction. And so, I do know that there's going to come a point where they're going to forget about what Jamie Dimon says, and Bitcoin's going to stop going down. They're going to forget about what the Bank of China, the People's Bank of China, is trying to do, and Bitcoin's going to stop going down at a certain point. At a certain point, I don't know what that point is. You guess what it is. Is it $2,000? I don't think it'll go that low. I don't think it has it in it to go that low. Is it $1,000? Let's all guess on it. What would that price be? Who knows? But I say, keep buying right down to that, hits that price mark. Because the coins that you buy closest to that low price mark are the coins that you're going to do the best on. So let's say it's 1,000. Oh heck, just for argument's sake, let's say it's $100. Let's say Jamie Dimon is the most wonderful spokesperson on earth, and he is able to actually get it down to $100, right? Well, just think, those coins that you buy at $100 are going to be the best value you've ever made, because at that point she's going to start to heat back up and percolate back up again. And I can guarantee you it's going to have a long way to go up from $100. You know? But it's not going to die. Bitcoin, that notion, I had that notion maybe 2 years, 3 years ago. And I thought, what if it dies? You know? And I've been there, I've worked through that, and now I realize that this thing's not going to die. It's just going to keep growing and growing and growing until it wins in the end. You know? And I know it's going to win. And so I know when it finally hits this bottom price point that it's going to start to move back up again. So the best thing to do is to buy all the way down. But don't throw all your money in at any one particular time, at any one particular price. Because then you won't have any money left to buy more at a lower price, because it's going to keep dropping, you know. And so, like my plan, buy a little bit. Hold a lot of your money back, you know, and buy in, and then when it goes lower, buy in some more. And when it goes lower, buy in some more, and keep buying all the way down to that bottom price mark, you know. And say every time the price drops, don't say, oh, this is bad. Say, this is great. This, every time it's creating a new buying opportunity for you to get in at a cheaper price. It's incredible, the opportunity it's creating. And how much power does Jamie Dimon's voice have? Well, evidently it does have quite a little bit of power to knock the price down here to 3,300. But it was also timing. It's just like a joke when somebody throws a joke at you. You know, they got to have the timing right to throw the punchline. Jamie Dimon was good. I got to hand it to him. His timing was just right spot on. And he must have been waiting to do this. He must have been sitting there, and he must have had his script ready to come out, and this was all part of the plan to try to kill this. And it almost seems like maybe it's a coincidence that the People's Bank of China and their timing is all timed into the same thing, you know, to try to kill this. But I don't really altogether believe that it's a coincidence. I think it's all part of a more orchestrated plan. They wanted to get rid of this beta test now. The beta test's over. They want to roll out their new world currency that's backed by the central banks. And in fact, dominate that new world currency. The question mark is will the people let them do it? Will the people buy into this new world currency when they bring it out? Because it's going to be regulated. It's going to be run by the central banks for the central bank's purposes. And they are going to assign you an address, a wallet address. And they're going to tell you, hey, you know, this is for your own good. It's to prevent money laundering and stuff. But that's going to enable them to track every transaction. My personal opinion is, as long as these cryptocurrencies that are free are out there, I mean free as in you don't have to register your wallet address with a central authority, that you can have any wallet address you want, and you can just dump your wallet or dump your wallet address. If you don't like your old wallet address, you can get a new one just at the push of a button. Those wallets are very hard to track. This is what they're trying to get rid of. As long as those wallets are out there, why are we going to use the wallets that they offer us, where we have to use where it's all centralized? You know. So I think before they're going to be able to roll out theirs, first they're going to have to get rid of the old stuff that's free. And it might be a little bit hard to do that. And I think that's what they're in the process of doing right now, is trying to get rid of the old stuff that's free, which is the Bitcoin, the Litecoin. Trying to get rid of them all. And they just thought it would be easy to come out there and say, oh, hey, you know, these are not good. They're unstable. These are not backed by any central authority, blah, blah, blah. And that we would say, oh, yes, master, here, we're going to get rid of them all. I think they thought that would be an easy thing to do. And it's turning out not as easy as they thought. Because right now they're in the middle of it. And sure, there are a few guys out there who are listening to everything Jamie Dimon's got to say on this matter. But there's just as many of them out there who love Bitcoin and love these cryptocurrencies and who are not letting them go. The price, I don't think, is moving down near as quick as they thought it would. It's only dropped down to $32.99 right at this moment. I'm sitting there looking at the price, you know, and I'm thinking to myself, that's still a very high price for something that's supposed to be worthless. You know, right now $3,300. You know, it's going up. The price is going up. That's a really high price for something that's supposed to be worthless, something that's supposed to have no intrinsic value whatsoever. $3,300 US for each one. I mean, if they're really that worthless and nobody wants them, then why aren't they free? So listen, thank you guys for listening to me. And like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next article. Bye.